I need to see you. Where's, what's going on? You having trouble with the
Yes.
computer? There you are. Now I see you. All right, Ms. Hernandez, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear that in this proceeding, the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes.
Thank you. Put your hand down. Ms. Hernandez, the first thing that I need to do before we go any further, I have to tell you that you have particular constitutional rights and protections that apply individually to each case. There's two cases that are involved here. So in these rights that I'm going to talk to you about, each one applies individually to each case. First of all, you have the right to remain silent. That means that you do not have to make any kind of statement. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to submit written paperwork that has your signature, especially papers that admit or confess to wrongdoing. Do you understand you have the right to remain silent?
Yes.
You're not very convincing that you understand what I'm saying to you, so listen carefully and speak up nice and crisply.
Okay.
The second right you have is the right to a jury trial. That means you do not have to,
Your Honor, excuse
Yes.
me. It's not a plea. It's a hearing on motions to reinstate bond.
Oh, all right. You
And I'm
still
sorry,
have-
Judge, I should have clarified that one along ago.
All right. I got thrown off here, especially since I was seeing papers there and documents. All right. Nonetheless, you still have a right to remain silent. Do you understand you have that right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
All right. On this particular hearing, you may also have a right to appeal, meaning that depending upon the results, you could possibly have the right to ask a higher court to review the official record and the results of this if you disagreed with them, or make whatever challenge you wanted to make. You understand you have that right?
Yes, sir.
You also have the right to demand that this hearing be held in a public courtroom. However, because of the COVID pandemic, we're doing this by video conference, but you must agree to that. And it's my understanding that you do agree to do this by video conference. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, this is a motion to reinstate your bond. Mr. Simmons,
Yes, Your Honor.
does this apply to both cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, talk to me. Let's hear what you got to say.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, in March 23rd of 2021, this year, there was a warrant a defendant has a warrant based on a bond increase. It's based on a pretrial violation report that was on March the 23rd, 2021. My client she originally had a DWI back in February of 2020. And so kind of got caught up in the mix of the pandemic, but it was a DWI first. And so it did not require her to have the interlock device. But when she picked up the second, she was supposed to have an interlock device, but she was a bit confused on that. When she found out that there was a warrant about it, she contacted my office. I made her aware of her obligations. She also at that time let me know, though, that she does not have an operational vehicle at this time to put the interlock device in. I was a little, I don't want to misrepresent to the court, so I'm not sure if she communicated that to the pretrial officers prior to that report being issued. And so she's under, also I would ask her that question, but there was some confusion around this issue. The court issued a bond increase on both of the cases. One, it went from 2 to 4. And on the other case, it was from 1,000 to 2,000. My client is indigent as defined by Bexar County, so she knows she's going to have to get a device, but we're asking the court to reinstate her previous bonds and recall the warrant while she gets that worked out, and so she doesn't have to pay those additional costs. We would also like to bring to the court's attention, while it's not completely set in stone at this point, I do believe that we're near resolution of this matter as well. She has a court date on the 22nd. I would anticipate this being taken care of by then, but we didn't want her to be out there with a warrant or anything. And so that's why we're asking the court to recall the warrant and reinstate the bond. We did confer with the state on this this morning, and they expressed that they were not opposed to that, Judge.
All right. Since the state is not opposed, then I'll just grant the motion.
Okay. And also, Judge, she does have to, we would ask, like I said, I believe her next court date is on the 22nd. We may try to get it done before then, but if she does accept the offer and if it's approved, there's just a few things that the prosecution has to check out with another court. But if that is, I guess what I'm asking the court is, can she have until that court date to figure out? She'll probably need an in-home device if she doesn't have an operational vehicle. And so, but we're asking if, you know,
We'll
22nd, that's our next court date.
We'll consider that at the time, but it sounds like something that would be acceptable.
Okay. And
All
I've
right.
got those motions there, Judge. So is there anything else that we would need right now, Judge?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Patty, do we need anything else besides reinstate the previous bonds?
No, Judge, I'll just have Mia print this, both motions and orders, and have you sign them.
Now, when was the second arrest?
It was a DWI, Judge.
No, I say when.
The second arrest was in March of this year, if I'm not mistaken.
That was the March 23rd arrest?
That was the March 23rd. She had a DWI first, but she didn't have to have the interlock at that time. But of course, when she got arrested,
Right.
the second morning,
And
we kicked that in.
does she have any kind of monitoring device at this time?
My understanding is she does not, Your Honor. Ms. Hernandez, you do not have a monitoring device right now, is that correct?
Yes, I don't have one.
Okay. No, Your Honor.
I wanted to have one installed no later than Friday. The portable monitor, Smart Start. Is that understood, Ms. Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
And I don't,
You should have had it within 30 days of March 23rd. So you've been skating free inappropriately. I want it done right away. You understand, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Simmons?
yes, Your Honor.
All right. You had something else you wanted to address?
Well, I was gonna see, but I don't want to create any additional work for probation, but I was gonna see if one of them were possibly available to go into a breakout room with Ms. Hernandez, so there's no confusion on what it is she needs to do.
We have Ms.
She's
Maricela
not.
Luna. We have Ms. Maricela Luna, the CLO. She is
Yeah,
available.
she's not on
to do just that.
probation.
Oh, that's right. This is pretrial.
Just pre-trial, so
No,
I
we
can, but
don't.
I can discuss it with her too, Judge.
Make sure you do, Mr.
Yes, Your Honor.